Hello, everyone. Good evening. Time to start. We cannot wait any longer for the others. Remember, I check attendance only to the ones with the camera on. Miss Avila, sorry. Miss Avila, I read your message. Not a problem. I understand. Yep. So remember, yes. This is an instruction from coordination. So even if you're here, but if your camera is off, I cannot register your attendance. Yep. Hope you understand that. Let me share my screen so we can start. We can retake. Yeah. From yesterday. Let me share the book activity just a second. Let me open it for you. So there we go. Okay. Let's start on it. And we're gonna start with exercise or the section regarding to reading and listening. Yeah. This is the one that we're gonna start in here. Let me just write it here for my record. Remember, as usual, I take notes about your participation when you help me out with some answers and the attendance for the moment. Let me see. I got Dylan. Thank you. Alexis as well. And that's it. That's the attendance I have so far. Okay. So in here, in this first section, what we are going to work on is related to obviously a text story. You're going to read about a race with the BBC core program Top Gear, organized across London. Read the introduction and answer the questions. Here you have the model of the questions. Where do they have to go from? Where to? What are the 4 methods of transport? Which one do you think will be the fastest and why? In what order do you think the other 3 will arrive? Why? Yep. So once again, obviously, we're going to have a text, and from there, we're going to have some questions. Here, you have an extract of the text. Yep. Let me see it in a better dimension. So it's related to this part. Yeah. What we got on the right. Yeah. The Zoom actually, once again, is for me. So we get this one. Top Gear. Yep. Top Gear challenge. What's the fastest way to get across London? To get across is, for example, in Guayaquil, you go from the north to the south. Yep. Go ahead across, you actually pass by all the city. Yep. From one side to the other. North to the south, east to the west. Yep. There we have different options depending on what we're gonna do. So let's take a look at these texts about London. On Top Gear, a very popular BBC TV series about cars and driving, they decided to organize a race across London to find the quickest way to cross a busy city. The idea was to start from Kew Bridge in the southwest of London and to finish the race at the check-in desk at London City Airport in the east. So in this case, they are explaining, right? The starting point is in the southwest and they're gonna finish in the east. That's why get across London. So they are passing by the whole city from one place from the right to the left. Yeah, if we want to see it that way. A journey of approximately 15 miles. 4 possible forms of transport were chosen: a bike, a car, a motorboat, and public transport. So there, because they want to know, obviously, the question, right, that we have on the top. What's the fastest way to get across London? So what we observed that they decided to make this sort of competition about the time, which one is fastest, and they chose 4 options. We got the bike, the car, the motorboat, and public transportation. The show's presenter, Jeremy Clarkson, took the boat, and his colleague, James May, went by car, a large Mercedes. Richard Hammond went by bike, and the stick took public transportation. He had an Oyster card. His journey involved getting a bus, then the tube, and then the Docklands Light Railway, an overground train which connects East and West London. Yeah. So they are describing the option for the one taking the public transportation. So it's a combination, right? Depending on the journey port, they are having a different combination of a set of transportation means. They set off on a Monday morning in the rush hour. So they're gonna do, remember that expression, right? Rush hour, that we have a lot of people, a lot of cars. That is the part or the option that we're gonna have in there. Yep. So we have the first one, Jeremy in the motorboat. His journey was along the River Thames. For the first few miles, there was a speed limit of 9 miles an hour. Because there are so many ducks and other birds in the part of the river was confusing. And at one point, he realized that he was going in the wrong direction. But he turned around and got back onto the right route. Soon, he was going past Fulham football ground. He phoned Richard and asked him where he was. Just past Trafalgar Square. This was good news for Jeremy. He was ahead of the bike. He reached Wandsworth Bridge. The speed limit finished there, and he could now go as fast as he liked. Jeremy felt like the fastest moving man in all of London. He was flying, coming close to 50 miles an hour. How could he lose now? He could see Tower Bridge ahead. His journey was 7 miles longer than the others, but he was now going at 70 miles an hour, not far to the airport now. So there we have the description of the first person of this show, right? Of this TV show, the first description. That is the person, in this case, Jeremy, that took the option of the motorboat. Yep, like he's taking the option of the motorboat. What we have is the description, right? One part of the journey with a time with a speed limit, sorry. The other one, then he has the chance of going as fast as he wants. But the observation there is that actually is longer. Yeah. The journey is longer. Let's see what we get after that. So we got Jeremy, we got one. Remember that there are 4. So the next one, we go on Richard. Richard on the bike. Richard could use bus lanes, which was great, but of course he had to be careful not to crash into the buses. He hated buses, horrible things. When the traffic lights turned red, he thought of cycling through them. But then he remembered that he was on TV, so he had to stop. When he got to Piccadilly, he was delighted to see that there was a terrible traffic jam. He could go through the traffic, but James in his Mercedes will get stuck. He got to Trafalgar Square and then went into a cycle lane. From now on, it was going to be easier. So for the person, in this case, Richard, that is riding the bike, right? That's the option he has. What we observe is that you have the normal obstacles. At certain moments, he's part of the bus lane, so that difficults a lot right? The journey, because he has to be very aware of the buses. And then he also mentioned the benefit of riding the bike, because you don't have to deal with the traffic jams. If you go in a car, then obviously you have the traffic lights, you have a lot of cars, you may be involved in a traffic jam. That is not a problem when you're using your bike. Yeah. So for the moment, things like actually he got an advantage, yes, with the other means of transportation. Let's continue from there to the next one. James in the car. He started off okay. He wasn't going fast, but at a steady speed until he was stopped by the police. They only wanted to check the permit for the cameraman in the back of her car, but it meant that he lost 3 or 4 valuable minutes. The traffic was getting worse. Now he was going really slowly, 25 an hour, 23, 20, 18. It was so frustrating. So there you have the inconveniences that you can observe when you're using the car as a means of transportation. In this case, the additional delay is because there is a control. The police is asking for permits, yeah? Because obviously they are filming, they are recording the journey. So that's what we get. And the last one is related to STIC, but that one on the underground. With this information, before I continue, remember the ones that I put the attendance, that I check the attendance. For the moment, I got Camila, thank you, Dylan, Maria, very mysterious shot, but Maria is there. And who else? And nobody else. Yeah, remember that coordination wants coordination wants you to have the cameras on, and those are the ones that I'm gonna check attendance. Yep. Be careful with that, with the percentage of your attendance, just in case, to remind you of that. So we go now to the activity itself. So I share my screen again, and this is what we get, right? So we are on reading and listening, and let's take a look at activity 3B. With that one, we're gonna start. As usual, my recommendation, if you need it, of course, work with me on my attempt, and then you can follow yours. Yep, if you need it. If not, you're super independent, go ahead, I have no problem. So we start on 3B. Let me open my attempt, and here we have this. Read the 3 journeys again and answer the questions with J for Jeremy, R for Richard, or J for James. Yep, J for James. That's what we are going to have, what we are going to observe. Once again, this is the ones that I already showed to you. So let's take a look. Let's see if we remember. Yep. So according to the text, there we have the stories. If you need to read them again, obviously, let me see, what can I do for you on that matters. They are extremely and tiny extracts, but they are asking is, okay, who was asked to show a piece of paper? Who was asked to show a piece of paper? Yep. Who was it? James, Jeremy, or Richard? Who was asked to show a piece of paper? James, Jeremy, or Richard?
Richard.
Totally sure? The one that was asked to show a piece of paper.
Jeremy is on the Mercedes.
The one that was on the Mercedes exactly was James. So there we have the first, right? We continue. The second one went much faster in the later part of his journey. At the beginning, he was going slow and then get speed. Yeah, because the speed limit, the area of the speed limit was off. So which was it? Who was it?
Jeremy.
Okay, perfect. So I follow your recommendation and I go for Jeremy. Yeah, let me just zoom out. Nearly did something illegal.
Richard.
Richard, because he wanted actually not to stop at the traffic lights and to pass by the buses. Number 4, went more slowly in the later part of his journey.
James.
Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. Let me, there you go. Number 5, was happy to see there was a lot of traffic.
Richard.
Totally sure. Number 5, like you mentioned.
Jeremy.
Number 5, let's go for Richard. I'm gonna follow your first advice, no problem. Remember, this is my attempt, just in case. Number 6, got slightly lost. Got slightly lost.
Jeremy.
So let's take a look. And finally, had the most exciting journey. Got the most exciting journey. That one I'm gonna give it
Jeremy.
to. Okay, perfect. I agree with you. Let's see if we got the right answer. Yep. So I finished my attempt. Let's see what I got. Submit and all finished. There you excellent. Thank you for the recommendations. There you have them for a minute, and then I'm gonna see your results. Yep. So there we have reading activity. What we selected was according to the stories, we selected the person that got that part, yeah, of the text. J.A. for James, J.E. for Jeremy, and R for Richard. There you have it. And now we go to results. Let me see your super work. Excellent, good number. I get 5 attempts, but today I need, well, 12. Excellent number. Yep. I need a couple more attempts, thanks to the ones that already finished. Dylan, Nora, perfect. Thank you so much. Let's wait for the others. Let's give a couple minutes for the others to do so. Yep. Take your time, but not like exaggerating. And please start the attempt on activity 3B. Yep. Until now, the attendance that I register is it was, for the moment, the only one that I registered attendance, Dylan. Oh, Maria, there you go. Thank you so much. So remember, yes, when The problem is gonna be when you say like, I was in the class, but then I go like, but they got the camera off, and then coordination goes, no, so they were not. Remember, this is a requirement of coordination just to have the cameras on, yep, to check your attendance. For the moment, let me see, Dylan, Maria, Luis Angel. That's it, yep. Camila was also there. Thank you so much. Okay, let me refresh my page to see what we got. 9 attempts. I need 3 more to get it done. Excellent. Let's wait 2 more minutes and we continue. So we got activity 3B. One more minute and I continue. Okay, let's continue. I go back to the student book. Let's see what else we got. Remember, we're still working on section 3A. Just to observe this part, the words that are highlighted, just to have it clear the meaning of the words, right? In here, what you get, for example, in the part of Jeremy and the motorboat, you get turn around. What is it? How do you explain that one in English? Turn around.
Girar.
And now in English,
Turn around.
in different words. So Dylan gave us translation, yeah, to have it clear the meaning. Now the chance or the capacity of explaining the vocabulary in English, right? To turn around. What is it? Yep.
Rotate or spin.
Good. To rotate will be one. Yeah. Spin as a meaning, it's similar. Yes. Very good. Then we have was ahead. Was ahead of. Was ahead of is when you have an advantage. So you go in first place, you're ahead of the second place. Yeah. Was ahead of, you get an advantage. Yeah. He reached Wandsworth Bridge. He reached Wandsworth Bridge. You use it when you get to a place. Yeah. So you go to meet somebody, to meet one friend of yours. And then you go like, where are you? I am reaching Puente de la Unidad Nacional. So you're getting to that point. Yeah, to reach. In this case, in this context, right? He reached Wandsworth Bridge. Let's see what else we got highlighted in the part or the section, the extract that is Richard on the bike. Crash into. That means that you're going to hit, yeah, crash into the buses, not to have an accident. Traffic lights turned red. Traffic lines turned red. That is the change of light in a traffic light. Yeah, green, yellow, red. So it goes like the traffic light turned green, the change of the color in the traffic light. Then you get in his Mercedes will get stuck. Get stuck is that you cannot move. Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, obviously here we are talking about traffic. For some reason, you got stuck in the middle. A traffic jam, you cannot move. And James in the car getting worse. Getting worse. So the things are bad, that condition increases. Now it's not bad, now it's worse. Yeah, comparative. Now it's not bad, it's worse. Yep, just in case. I continue. And let's see, let's go back to your platform activity. That is activity D, right? To understand the vocabulary a little bit, and we get to the section of the grammar. So we are in section 4, grammar. Before we get to that one, we're gonna observe a video. Yeah. Let me stop sharing a minute mine for the attendance. Yeah. So just to register that one. Guys, just to be clear, right? The moment that I pass the attendance, if your camera was off, no attendance. If then you turn it on, so sorry, then you have to explain to coordination, but that is you and coordination. Yep. It's not personal, it's what they are asking me to do. Yep. So please do not take it personal. Just following my commands. So if I check attendance, I check the camera off, then, well, you will explain if it was you were in the class or not. That's up to you and coordination. Yeah, I don't want you to get angry or that we have any troubles at all. So let me see. Okay, just a minute. Let me complete the attendance control. Wellington, one question. You were in another class before this one, or no? You just started in this one yesterday?
No, teacher.
You started with me.
La clase anterior tuve que irme por problemas personales.
Okay, thank you. It's because they are asking me about that. Yes, thank you so much for it. Perfect, just a second. I check like absent, the ones with the camera off. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's continue. So, as we were saying, let's start on the video. About comparatives and superlatives. Comparatives and superlatives, what is it? What is about comparatives and superlatives? Comparatives and superlatives is related, or is the origin is based on the adjectives. Yeah, so that's what they are referring to. But there are other forms of comparison. So we normally have a taller, more beautiful, the regular ones. but you have also other forms. Yep, that's what I'm gonna show to you first, this part of the text. And then we're gonna observe a video and then we go to the activities. But starting with this section. In this part, once again, the one that I told you that is normal, that we remember maybe, that the one that we know most of the times is in here. When we are comparing to people, places, or things. So you got, my sister is a bit taller than me. London is more expensive than Edinburgh. This test is less difficult than the last one. Olive oil, better for you than butter. Olive oil is better for you than butter. The new sofa isn't as comfortable as the old one. I don't have as many books as I used to. So normally what we recognize are the two ones. What I refer to, taller than me, more expensive than. That is the normal structure that we have for comparison. Taller and more expensive than. What is the difference? Can I say more tall? Can I go with more tall? In here, when you're having the adjectives, what is the comparison between tall and expensive? Why they change in a different way when you made the comparison? Let me share mine. And what I have is that you have one adjective, tall, and they are using this form, taller than. But you also have another adjective, expensive. And for this one, they are using more expensive than. Yep. So why? Why they do not change in the same way? What is the difference? Do you remember? Why I have taller, but with expensive, I got more expensive than. What is normally the rule? What is different about them? Anyone? Do you remember? Well, in the adjectives, when you are making comparison or superlative, taller is like lot. Very good, Sebastian. Thank you for your comment in the chat. Exactly. So there we'll be having another example, like Sebastian mentioned. I will take another example in here. So I will use the adjective large. Yeah. But for making the comparison, I'm gonna go with larger than. So what do you see in common? What do you see in common? What you see in common is this part. Yep, this one. ER. Yep, that is the one that you see. ER. Yep, that is the one that we're gonna refer to. This ending. For tall, for large. But what happens with expensive? Expensive does not change. Yep, I got here expensive, and expensive is here as well, expensive. But what is the difference? The difference is the word that I used before. Yep, this one. So your adjectives, dependent how long they are. Yeah, when it's a short adjective, we are going to have this one for comparison. for comparison. What is it? The adjective is gonna end in ER. Tall, taller. Large, larger. But then you have an adjective like expensive. More syllables, long, expensive. When the adjective is long, for the comparison, I'm gonna use this one, more. Yep. That is what we get as an introduction once again. Yep. So this is what we are going to observe, what we're gonna work with, the grammar we're gonna work with. Okay. So let's take a look. We're gonna see this one.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from Ingvid. This lesson is for you if you make mistakes when you describe or especially when you compare people, places, or things. Now, in terms of grammar, this is a lesson about comparative or superlative adjectives. I'll explain to you exactly what that means and how we use it, okay? But in terms of real life, this lesson is really about something that you need to do in English almost every day. So let's get started. Now, let's look at the board here where I have tried to draw 3 tall men, A, B, and C. Now, if we describe these 3 people, we could say these sentences. A is tall, let's say. B is taller than A, and C is the tallest. Now, when I said A is tall, I just used an adjective, tall. That's our basic adjective. When I said taller, that is when you compare 2 people or places or things. So that is called the comparative adjective. It compares 2 things. And when we said C is the tallest is the superlative adjective. It means the most of something, okay? In this case, the most in terms of height. So it became the tallest. So basic adjective, comparative adjective, and superlative adjective. Now, that's one way to do it. But let's look at another example. This shop is expensive, basic adjective. That shop is more expensive, the comparative adjective. And this is the most expensive shop. That's the superlative adjective, right?
As you can observe, the teacher, the professor, is explaining to us the 3 forms, the 3 stages of the adjectives. The adjective has one base form, tall. You have the second form that is comparative, taller, and you have superlative, the maximum category that an adjective can describe, the tallest. Yeah. So you got tall, taller, tallest, base, comparative, and superlative. And the teacher is doing the same with the other adjective that is expensive. Expensive, base form. More expensive, comparative. And the most expensive, superlative. Yeah, the 3 forms of the adjectives. But there you're gonna see also one example of an adjective that is considered irregular. Why is it considered irregular? Because if you take a look at the adjective good, yeah, I don't go like saying gooder, yeah, or the goodest. That's impossible. That's terrible. What you do is the adjective is good, comparative, better, and superlative, the best. Yeah, the 3 forms of the adjective. That's what we are, or the teacher is referring to in this part of the video.
The most. But
yep.
In the second sentence of shop, expensive. Why in the second sentence does she use that?
Oh, it's because when you're comparing, remember, this is when it's close to you, right? This shop maybe is closer in this corner. But then you compare to other in the other corner, it's distance. So they go like that shop is more expensive. To say this shop is one, that shop obviously is the other, the one different. Only for the matter of distance, yeah, to make the difference.
Okay, thank you.
What's going on here? Here we said tall, taller, the tallest. Here we said expensive, more expensive, the most expensive. Something different, right? Okay, I'll explain to you exactly when you use this kind of construction and when you use this form. Hang in there. And let's look at one last example. I have a good job. You have a better job. And she has the best job. In this case, good was the basic adjective. Better is the comparative adjective between two people. And the best is the superlative adjective. Now we have something even more different, right? Good, better, and the best. So which of these do you use when? That's what you're going to learn really, really well, and in such an easy way that you will never forget it in just 1 second. Okay, so all of the examples we looked at just now were correct. So how do you decide which one to use? I'm going to show you now with a very simple chart. And what this chart shows you is that the point that matters is the adjective itself. How many syllables is it divided into? What's a syllable? It's how many parts in terms of pronunciation is the word divided into. And
In this part, what we are going to refer is that normally when the teachers explain adjectives, you say like short adjective, long adjective. What do they refer with that? They refer to the number of syllables. Now remember that in English, the syllable is according to sounds, it's phonetic. Yeah. So it's not so literal like in Spanish. So in Spanish, you see Dylan, you go Dylan. The separation is kind of literal. But in English, is according to sounds. That is the way that she's going to explain how you have different categories for adjectives. Once again, what is that? That I don't say more cold, right? To say más frío, I don't go like more cold. Yeah, it's again like in Spanish, you listen to someone saying más mejor. Yeah, so then comes, that is the way when we don't use the correct structure in adjectives, that will be the equivalent. Yeah. Now, when you listen, if you listen to a person saying, this car, este auto es más mejor que el otro. Do you understand the idea this person is trying to express? Maybe, okay, you understand and you continue, but some other people gonna correct them. Yeah, the same is gonna happen in English. Yeah, so if I go like, oh no, January is more cold than October. So the idea is there, but it's not right from the grammar point of view. Yep. So let's continue in this section to see this part that is related to, okay, how we identified what type of verb, adjective, sorry, it is, what it means, if it's a short adjective or it's a long adjective.
I will explain that to you right now. So when we look at a very short word like cold, large, hot, or dry, it has only one syllable. We say it fast, cold. We cannot say cold. We just say cold. So it has one syllable. When we say this word, happy, it has two syllables. When we say this word, intelligent, it has intelligent. 4 syllables, actually. Okay? So syllables are just how many parts the word is divided into when we can pronounce it. Now, so when we start with 1 syllable words or really short words, all you have to do is to add an ER sound. So for example, the basic adjective is cold. The comparative adjective is colder. And the superlative adjective is the coldest. Cold, colder, the coldest. Now remember, when you say this one, don't just say coldest. Remember to say the coldest. Whatever I've written on the board in red is what you need to add. Now, there are two different things. One is when you're speaking and one is when you're writing. So you will see here on the board that there are some changes you need to make in spelling. But first of all, learn what to say. Because in the saying of it, you don't need to spell anything. All right? Later, you can download a free resource that I've written that will explain to you exactly all of the changes you need to make, also in the comparison and also in the spelling. All right? But that's later. Now let's just look at and understand the basic principles. So one syllable short words are just like that. Large, larger, the largest. Hot, hotter, the hottest. Dry, drier, the driest. Okay? Yes, there are spelling changes, but again, refer to the reference sheet for that. Right now, just try to get the rhythm of it. Okay? Say it out loud with me. Now, the next rule is when you have a two-syllable word which ends with Y, then we do this. So let's take this example. Happy, two syllables, happy, ending with Y. So we cancel the Y and we add I-E-R, happier. Okay? Happy, happier, the happiest. This is the happiest day of my life. Okay. All right. Busy, busier, the busiest. This week I'm busy. Last week I was busier. Next week will be the busiest week of the month. Okay? Like that.
Grammarly's 5 tips for writing a professional email.
Email writing is super important.
That. So, one syllable, just basically ER or R. Two syllables ending with Y, IER, usually. And now, for every other word, which is two syllables or more, you have a different pattern, okay? So, let's take an example. Modern, modern, two syllables, right? Modern, more modern, and the most modern, okay? So now you see where this construction comes in, right? It's different from these. Here we're using more and the most. The same for any word in English, which is a little bit long. When we say two syllables, it means 2, 3, 4 syllables, definitely longer words. We're going to use this construction, okay? For example, intelligent. He's intelligent. He's more intelligent. He's the most intelligent, okay? So more and the most, but we don't change the adjective itself. So those are the three basic things that you have to remember. If it's a very short word, just go hot, hotter, hottest, the hottest, hot, hotter, the hottest. Okay, when you're saying the sentence, it will come to you much more naturally. Happy, happier, the happiest. Okay, and modern, more modern, the most modern. All right, that's the rule. Those are the basic rules, and that will help you with any comparative or superlative adjectives that you want to use, except for a few. Really, there are not that many. A few exceptions. And down here, I've written 2 of the most popular and the most common exceptions. All right? There are not too many exceptions, so don't worry. But these 2 are very common, and you really must know them very well. Because if you make a mistake with these, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good if you're doing an exam. Doesn't look good if you're going for a job interview, or if you've written your resume or a cover letter or anything like that, okay? So don't make any of these mistakes down here at all. So what are these 2 very popular adjectives, which are exceptions? Good and bad. So the party was good. Last week's party was better. And this is the best party I've ever been to. So here we have good, better, and the best. So the words actually change. We use different words, okay? Also, bad, worse, and the worst, okay? Bad, worse, and the worst. And remember to use that word the, all right? So these are the basic rules. These are 2 exceptions. There are maybe 6 or 8 more. Again, in the resource which you can download for free from our website, I will have written for you most of them, almost.
Okay, help me out in the chat. Input how tall you are. For example, like this, I write down my name and I'm gonna be very optimistic and I go Manuel 1.79. So input in the chat, let me put it for all of you, sorry. I input my name and I input my height. Manuel 179. Yep, so that is my height, 179. Input in the chat your height, please. Your name and how tall you are. Please use the chat and do so. So there we are having we're having a scale. Luis Angel 185, Dylan 172, Maria 160, Wellington Luis Angel and Wellington 185. Okay. We got Alexis 165, Camila 167, Edwin 176, Nora 165, Ruth 155. Now we have your heights in here. Let's compare. Yeah, I'm writing in the chat. Yeah, compare. Let's see. Let's compare Dylan, Maria, and Camila. Dylan, Maria, and Camila. So how tall is Dylan? Dylan is 172. Maria is 160. And Camila is 167. Yeah. So I say, for example, Maria is tall. Yep. But now I'm gonna compare Maria and Camila. So how does it go? Camila is taller than Maria. But we are missing Dylan. Yep. So then we go with Dylan. Dylan is the tallest. You see the sequence. Maria is tall. Camila is taller. Dylan is the tallest. Yeah. So in here, what we have, once again, we have the height, right? Height, estatura. We have the height of 3 people. So Dylan is the tallest. In the class, who is or who are the tallest in the class, in this group? Who are the tallest?
Luis is the tallest in the class.
Excellent, Wellington. So Luis is the tallest in the class. Luis is the tallest in the class, in the group, right here. Now, if we are using the tallest, we go to the opposite. The opposite is short. Yeah. Who is the shortest in the class? According to the information we have in the chat, who is the shortest?
Ruth is the shortest.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, so in there, we got, like Luis mentioned, for the example, right? Only for the example. The shortest in the class. Yep. If I tell you that I'm going to eat, I want to go out. Yep, I want to go out with my wife this weekend. And I have three options. I got Dolarazo. I got San Marino. And I got, what is the one on San Borondón? Plaza Lagos. I think it's that one. I have those three places, right? To go out with my wife. Tell me, using expensive, how you classify them. Using expensive, how you classify those places. So I want to go out with my wife this weekend, so I'm going to have Dolarazo, San Marino, or Plaza Lagos. Three options. Let's use the adjective expensive. How you classify that?
San Marino is more expensive than Dolarazo.
Very good. Then we have excellent, Luis Angel. San Marino is more expensive than Dolarazo. Very good. Yeah. And the other, what did you say, Edwin? What if I don't met? Oh, you don't know any of those places? No. Okay. So in that case, we leave it like for the others to give an idea. No problem. So we get there. Excellent comparison. Luis Angel gave us the first comparison. If we compare normally with most of the places at the food court in San Marino, we have that relationship. Expensive, right? Dolarazo, San Marino, and normally what's going to happen is that in Plaza Lagos, how you describe it?
Plaza Lagos is the most expensive.
Perfect. The most expensive. That is the expression or how we are going to transform the adjective. Now, I want you to tell me three subjects, but what we are going to use, you're going to give me the following. Let me put it in the chat. We're going to use the adjective good, but in comparative, better, and superlative, the best. You're studying, yes? So, or you remember what you studied. So give me three subjects. Yeah. For example, when I was in high school, long time ago, I'm 46. When I was in high school, I put an example, right? Manuel was good at math. Yeah. I was better at science. I was the best at physical education. So there I'm comparing my subjects from the high school, but you're gonna compare your subjects in university. Yeah. So tell me one subject that you're good, the one that you're better, and the one that you're the best. In which subject you were the best? That you feel the best, right? Like it's easy for you. So that was the best for me. Not necessarily that you were the best in the class. Okay. So make a category. So one subject you're good. One subject you're better. One subject you're the best because it's super easy for you. Give me that information. Obviously, we are using the chat for it, right? Okay, let me see if I receive, not yet. So I suppose you're taking your time. Okay, so please, your answer in the chat. Once again, just tell me about your subjects. Yep, the one that you're good at it, the one that you're better, and the one you're the best. Give me those examples. Yep, a couple of you, please write your answer in the chat so we can compare that. Perfect, I got one answer. Edwin was good in lenguaje, was better in math, the best in religion. The best in religion. So religion was super easy for you, Edwin. Okay. Luis Angel was good at language, better at physical education, and the best at music. Okay. Playing any instrument, Luis Angel?
Yes, I am playing the guitar.
Like for like really playing the guitar, like or
Not the best, but yes.
okay, okay. So let's wait for one more answer at least. What about the others? Let me write here in class participation. Obviously, in this part, I have a couple more names from the others, but in this part, I get Edwin Ojeda and Luis Angel Elizalde. Perfect. Okay, so I continue. Let me show to you the explanation, the text of the explanation related to what we were covering at the very beginning. Yep, what we got in here. So once again, in here, what we got is they are presenting to us the comparison forms, right? You got adjectives, but they can also use, for example, to compare two actions, you got adverbs. On the right, you see, right, comparing two actions. My father drives faster than me. My father drives faster than me. You walk more quickly. What happens when the adverb finishes in ly, like quickly? There, what you're going to have is this, more quickly. Yeah. Max doesn't speak English as well as his wife does. So here you have those examples for the adjectives. Yes, the superlative form, what we cover so far. Thank you, Alexis, as well. Let me write down your name for the example you're helping me out with in the chat. Is, let me see, 1 second, I'm writing your names, and now I read it. So, Alexis, I was good writing reports, okay? I was better in science. I was the best in biology. Wow, that subject, biology. I was good at math in the case of Dylan. So, Alexis, with that description, I suppose you were ciencias, quibio?
I'm talking about in high school.
Exactly. So it was like quibio, ciencias, something like that, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then we get Dylan's, and I was good at math. I was better at physics. I was the best at physical education. Exactly, that one. Too good at sports. Exactly. Okay, so with these, let's see if we can do it. Oh, I have one more. Thank you so much. Let me write it down. Once again, your names was class participation. I also have Miss Pinkai. I was good at English. I was better at sports. I was the best at science. Perfect. Was good at the sports, was better at sports. Very good. So with that, I think we can do it. I'm gonna show you, well, here I'm projecting a flip. Remember that your videos are part of your qualifications, right? So in here, what I observe, for example, right? The first one was, are you a spender or a saver? So what I see that I got, this one was in pairs. I thought 7 answers. Yeah, 7 answers. The other video that we have, only child or having brothers and sisters. On this one, I got 10 responses. And yesterday's, that mysteriously you take like 30 minutes, I got so far 7 responses. Yeah, so of course, one grade is gonna be, for example, all the flip videos. Then if they are complete, you have the full score. If not, obviously, you begin to lose some points. Then the other is the class participation, and then we have all the activities that we got on the platform, okay? So let's start on this one. And we got the first activity we're gonna work on is activity 4A. Yep. Activity 4A.
Teacher,
Yep.
one question in the flip save or I save or I can't
Are
remember.
you a saver or a spender?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was in pairs or one
I'm pretty sure it was in pairs.
because we do this in group.
Mm-hmm.
We did do it in group.
Yeah, in that case, obviously, I mean, if I open one video and appears 3 of you, the 3 of you get the score. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at 4A. So let me click on it. What is the instruction? What is the direction in here? Read the sentences or the highlighted phrases, right or wrong. Tick to make that symbol like a check or cross. Yep. So let's see. Let me see. I open my attempt to see what is this about. And there you have it. Yeah. Read the sentences or the highlighted, well, the highlighted phrases. What's the quicker way to get across London? Yeah. Number 2, driving is more boring than going by train. Driving is more boring than going by train.
Tick.
Okay, so I follow your recommendation. The boat was nearly as fast than the bike, as fast as the bike. Do you think they are fast at the same pace? A boat with a bike. Oxford is the same distance from London as Brighton. Oxford is the same distance from London as Brighton.
Cross.
Okay, I cross. Number 5, there aren't as much trains as there were before on this line. Okay. It was the more exciting journey I've ever had. It was the more exciting journey I've ever had.
Tick.
Remember that in here is related like to the grammar, to the structure, if the sentence has no mistake. Yep. The worst time of the day to travel in London is between 7:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. The worst. So let's say that,
Tick.
okay, let's say that this one goes for a tick. And the last one goes like, women drive more careful than men. Women drive more careful than men. In here, let's see, okay. I follow one recommendation. And then I check the others. This one, for example, this one, for example, will be a mistake. What's the quicker way to get across? Then I go like this. Yeah. Let me change. This one is like here. And let me check my attempt. Let's see if we got it or not. Let's see. So there you have. Take a look. Take your notes before your result. There you have it. You got it. Take a look before I wait for your results. Thank you, Edwin, for your contribution in the chat with this exercise. There you have it. Let me stop sharing a minute to check this one as you are answering this activity, yeah? We wait a couple of minutes. Okay, we get so far 10 attempts. I need 2 more. Please remember, well, the ideal, right? Once again, work on the activities as we are here together. There you go, one attempt closer. Just 2 more minutes so we can continue, okay? We're working on activity 4A. Read the sentences or the highlighted phrases, write or run. Some seconds more and we continue. Okay, we go back. Remember, we are in the grammar section. So we are here. We just got 4A. Let's see grammar bank 1A. Let me write it down just a second. Grammar bank 1A, complete with the comparative or superlative of the bold word, and then if necessary. So let me start my attempt. The one in bold, right? So every single sentence gives you one adjective maybe, or one adverb, yeah? And we have to decide if it's comparative or superlative, yeah? How do you know if it's comparative or superlative? You take a look at the sentence and you observe if the sentence contains two things, two people, two places, yeah? If it's comparative, you got a couple, yeah? You got two things, two places, two people, two activities. If the sentence contains only one, that is superlative, yep? So number one, I think skiing is horse riding. So in here, what I put first, what do you think it is, comparative or superlative?
Superlative.
What is the form that you use? Edwin, thank you. You gave me the answer. Easier than. Why? Comparative. Because you have a skiing and horse riding. You have two activities. You're comparing. Yeah. Then a motorbike is a scooter. You got motorbike and you got scooter.
Comparative.
Very good. Thank you so much. So how I compare with powerful?
More
Oh,
powerful.
Excellent. So I go with your recommendation. More powerful than a scooter. Number three, I think that traveling by train is form of transport. Traveling by train is form of transport. Comparative or superlative?
Superlative. I think it could be the most relaxing.
Thank you so much. Also, Edwin, for your contribution in the chat. Thank you so much. So the most relaxing. Yeah. Is it possible that I say relaxing girl or relaxing guest? Is it possible to do that? That I say relaxing girl? That will be crazy because for comparing, relaxing is a long adjective. The most relaxing. You walk, I. You walk, I. Comparative or superlative?
Comparative.
Comparative.
Very good. So you walk. You walk more slowly than I do. Let's see, right? Remember, this is my attempt, so just help me out. Time to travel is on holiday weekends. Time to travel is on holiday weekends. Comparative or superlative?
Superlative.
Very good. So
Superlative.
what is the superlative for bad?
Worse.
Very good. So I go the worst time, right? La peor época, el peor tiempo para viajar, the worst. 6, I've ever, yeah, driven is from London to Edinburgh.
Comparative.
Totally sure?
Superlative.
And what is the superlative for that one? So in here,
The farther.
very good. The farthest. The farthest. Very good. 7, the London Underground is the subway in New York. The London Underground, the subway in New York.
Comparative.
Very good. Thank you so much. So is older than the subway in New York. This is coach I've ever been out. Coach, remember that is a word that in British English is boss, right? Just in case you're not gonna believe that coach is the trainer and then it's hot. No, right? Maybe when one person is super beautiful, you go and you can use hot, but this is not the case. We're talking about means of transportation. So it's a bus. This is the, let me see, I received one answer. Perfect, Edwin. Thank you so much. Great contribution today. As usual, you're one that participates always. Of all my family, my mom is
The best.
excellent. The best in my family. Now, my mother means danger when she took the car, but so let's see. I finished my attempt and let me check. With your help, I'm sure that I'm gonna get a good grade, but you never know. So let me see what we get. Look. Yeah. You see here. You got farthest, but you also have furthest. This adjective has a little change in the form. Yeah. But in the what is the difference? Yeah. In this case, we are going to use well, let's make the correction in here because both are acceptable. Yeah. Let me see your attempts before we continue. Any questions, any doubts about it? Give me a second to make a correction on this one. Anyone that got problems on that one that I have to check manually, please let me know. So everything okay on that one then? If anyone needs that I check these attempt manually, let me know. Let me see. Okay, I received your message, Edwin. Yeah, so everyone answer, almost everyone. Let's wait a couple more minutes. Just a couple more minutes, yeah, so we can continue. There's 2 more minutes and then we go on. Okay, we move on. Let's see what else we got in this section. We just wrap it up for Grammar Bank 1A. Yeah. Grammar Bank 1A. Let's see Grammar Bank 1B. Just a second. Grammar Bank 1B. Okay. So on this one, complete with one word. Let's see if we can do it. Complete with one word. Let's see what it's all about. So I preview my quiz. I start my attempt. And then you have this one. Example, going by motorboat is more exciting than traveling by train. A coach isn't as comfortable. When you have this one, yeah, you need again to repeat it as connector. Yep. The coach isn't as comfortable as a train. Yep. It's what I put in number 2. It's most expensive car. Exactly. Thank you so much. There you go. Thanks, Edwin. Very good. Number 3, the traffic was worse is comparative. What word we need?
Then.
Okay, there you go. That's right. Then this is the longest journey I've. This is an
Ever.
excellent. Who was it?
Me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me put it here in my class participation list, just in case. There you go. 5, he gets home late, but his wife arrives later than.
Me.
Later than
Him.
him. There you go. The interesting place I've ever visited is Venice. Superlative. What do you use?
Most.
Very good. The most. 7. I leave home at the same time.
Us.
Okay, as my brother. He drives than his girlfriend. Than his girlfriend is comparative. So what I use with carefully here.
More.
There you go. Thank you so much. And also Edwin for the messages. We don't go abroad often as we used to.
Us.
Very good. Thank you. Camila, was it right?
Yes.
Thank you, Camila. What's the longest motorway?
In.
Thank you, and Edwin as well. So there I have my answers. Let's see. Let's see if you held me right or not. Excellent. It's good to get 100. So there you have it for a minute. Take a look. Yeah, there we have. Let me check now your results. Must be perfect, I imagine. Okay. Okay, let's wait a couple minutes for the others to wrap it up, to finish on this one. We're waiting just a couple minutes. Let me refresh my page. I got 11 attempts so far. Let's see. Excellent. Most of you finished. Just waiting, right? Just giving a couple more minutes for the others to finish as well. Okay, so let's continue. So 3A cover. In the grammar bank 1B. Yep. I go back to our student book, the material you got on the platform. Okay, let me go back to this part. Just in case. So we got the grammar 1A, 1B. We finished this section. Let's make just the introduction for the pronunciation section that is related to linking. What is linking? Linking is the way that you're going to join the sound of the words. Yeah. So normally when this happens, when a person is speaking really fast, so they put together sentences, right? They put together words, sorry, in sentences. Yeah, that's why they mentioned linking. We often link words together in English, especially when we speak fast. We link words, so you unite the pronunciation of the words. Yeah, when a word ends in a consonant sound, and the next word, sorry, begins with a vowel sound. One word begins consonant, and the other begins on vowel sound. That's why you got more. Manuel, more finish in vowel, but the sound is consonant, more. Yeah. The next word, exciting, more exciting, more exciting. Yes. What happens if you read it like, oh, I think it's more exciting. More exciting. You make a pause, more exciting. Normally what happens is the opposite, more exciting, more exciting, more exciting. Yeah, you drag, you put together the words. Second time when you link, when a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word begins with the same consonant sound, dangerous, dangerous, and the other is cyclist, cyclist, dangerous, cyclist. Yep. What is it? You make it only one sound, dangerous cyclist, dangerous cyclist. Yep. Again, in real life, right? When I speak, when I read and I go like dangerous cyclist. Depending how you talk, what is more commonly observed, what you listen, is that they are putting together words. Yeah. When they are singing, when we are watching movies or a series, the pronunciation comes all together. They don't go like little by little, word by word. No, obviously they are talking. So dangerous cyclist, dangerous cyclist. One sound, not dangerous cyclist. I don't repeat, no. Number 3, when you link, when a word ends in those sounds, the syllables, right? T or D. Yeah, the next word begins with T or D. The biggest dog, the biggest dog. No, the biggest dog. Yeah, the biggest dog, the biggest dog. So you do it like once. In here, let me see if they included for you this one, the audio track. Yep. Let's see in here. This one is like for your practice, right? But let's listen now.
(2.14) 1. Riding a motorbike is more exciting than driving. 2.
The fastest train only takes an hour and a half.
3.
It's more difficult to drive at night than during the day.
4.
My father's worse at driving than my mother.
5.
The most dangerous road in my town is the ring road.
One more time.
2.14. 1.
Riding a motorbike is more exciting than driving.
2. The fastest train only takes an hour and a half. 3.
It's more difficult to drive at night than during the day.
4.
My father's worse at driving than my mother.
5.
The most dangerous road in my town is the ring road.
So there you have the examples, right? Those cases where actually you're putting together these words. Tomorrow, we're gonna retake that one. We're gonna restart from there, and then we move on with the other activities. Yep. Thank you to the ones for the use of the camera. Remember that based on that, I check your attendance. Any problems with the attendance by the end of the classes, then you have to, well, coordination is going to check the videos just in case. Yep. Thanks a lot for being here. I know that it's almost time for having some dinner. Yeah. So have a good night. Always take care, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss. Bye.
Tomorrow.
Mister, una pregunta. Es que todavía no puedo encontrar dónde puedo ver los videos de las clases.